back in 2007, we signed with Metal Blade Records, and Metal Blade has a long-standing relationship with ESP. And when we signed with Metal Blade, they, you know, were bringing up different guitar endorsements and things of that nature as we were a new young band, and you know, they were trying to get us different kinds of endorsements. And they had brought up ESP, and you know, we were definitely fans of their guitars in the past. And I know Zach and I both owned one before we were even endorsed by them. So you know, naturally, it was just a company that we gravitated towards.
I guess, you know, when you guys, I wasn't in the band from the very beginning, but I know you guys picked the name because it was where Jack the Ripper did his Killings and everything.
Phil
came up with the name. Yeah, we were just running through band names.
Wanted something short and to the point, but it still sounded
strong.
Had like a dark and ominous kind of sound to it, because that was what our music sounded like. So he's the only guy in the band that's been to actual Whitechapel.
Yeah, it's nothing like it was back in the 1800s. I mean, it was just like a line of like bootleggers like selling stuff. Ate at Whitechapel fried chicken. And it was a cool part of town. It was like old, you know, a lot of history in there.
You know, it definitely is a really good feeling having a signature model guitar. I mean, when I was younger growing up, I would have never thought in a million years that I would be endorsed by a guitar company, let alone have my own signature model. So, you know, it's really awesome that they gave us the opportunity to be able to create these. And, you know, developing the idea for them, we definitely spent a few months going over, you know, different specs, and we all had different ideas. We each wanted to bring something unique and different from each other. You know, we didn't want to put out 3 guitars that were all the same, so, you know, we went back and forth talking to each other about, you know, the specs of the guitars. And
I chose a maple fretboard over an ebony just because I liked the sort of snappiness it had to it, and I'm going through like the middle of the mix, so I feel like the maple kind of shines through a little better for like lead work and melodic parts and stuff.
Well, the DiMarzios, as far as, you know, lower tuning, I think you get a lot of clarity out of lower tunings with passive pickup and the DiMarzio deactivator, and you're using the Crunch Lab.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they just complement the tunings we're in a lot better than most pickups. And when we first started messing around with some of these pickups, you know, we'd all played actives for a long time, and it just, you know, after trying it out, it just, the strings shined more, they stood out, they're more organic sounding, and we were hooked as soon as we played the deactivators. And it was kind of cool too, because ESP hadn't really done a lot of guitars with DiMarzio in them, and you know, they did Seymour Duncan stuff a lot, but the DiMarzio was just right up our alley, and you know, it gave ESP opportunity to open that door too. So I think it worked out both ways for both of us.
When I was trying to decide the color for my signature model, I definitely wanted it to be something slightly unique, you know, not just like a plain black guitar. Something that was still definitely metal and mature looking. You know, I didn't want some kind of crazy neon finish, or, you know, I don't know. But I just had this idea to do a blood red burst, and that's what I told them. I just said, you know, I don't really know how else to describe it than blood red, and then have it bursting to black on the edges. And you know, they definitely really did a killer job in making that happen with the flame maple top. It just really accents that nice blood red finish. So
I really like the look of the maple and the see-through black, how it complements each other. It just gave it like a classic look that I was going after, that I felt like no other ESP guitar at the time had.
I went matte because I know there's a lot of people that do black matte guitars, and it's pretty typical, but I wanted, you know, I like the clean look of it. It's very, you know, very metal, very, you know, ominous looking in a sense, but I didn't want to go over the top with it, and I wanted something a little different. That's why I did the see-through satin on the top with quilted maple, and I think it came out, you know, it was just an experiment, didn't know what was going to happen, but it came out really cool, and I was pleased with it. And I think it gave it a different vibe, especially having the satin see-through as opposed to a gloss or something like that. And it was just, you know, it just fit me more than anything. And then and that was kind of, you know, honestly, I got lucky on the first try with that, and that's just what I went with. So